Hello and welcome to another episode of Uncle Neal's Neighborhood, home for all things avuncular. I'm your host, Neal Fox, and today I've got a very exciting show lined up for you. Before I start, though, I'd like to give you a little bit of my background. I was in art school when I was in high school, and I almost got thrown out for some ridiculous reasons. I was doing a series of nude paintings, and I guess it was a little too radical for them at the time. But I'd like to show you some of these paintings right now because I think you'll enjoy it. But if there are any kids watching, you should have them leave the room right now. This is a little bit too weird for them, maybe too graphic. So here we go. This first one here is nude descending a staircase 5 minutes ago. The second one here is nude hiding behind a tree. And number 3, we have nude reclining with clothes on. And last but not least, we have nude chewing on a bone. Anyway, I thought you'd enjoy that, so let's get on with the show. Somebody's at the door. I have no idea who that might be. Why don't you come with me and let's check it out.
Hey, Uncle Neal! You ain't gonna believe what we up to this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's those lovable Italians, the Squeegee Brothers.
You boys are big news. You should take advantage of the excitement. As your campaign manager, let me start spreading the word that you're considering running. But we don't know anything about running a country. We're just humble window washers and big rock stars. I know, but you boys have one thing no other politicians have: ethics. But we aren't even citizens. It didn't bother that last guy none. No. Look, let me put out some feelers. You boys think it over. Let's check the pulse of the people. Then let's talk again. Maybe we could make a difference. Maybe it's our duty to try. Listen, boys, you're going to need a lot of money to get elected and put your programs in place. We've got money coming out of our wazoos. Here, take some. Just remember us when you're elected. We can help. Guys, here's a few million. Remember us when you win. Giuseppe, think of all of the good we could do if we got elected. I know. It's a tougher decision. Guys! These are the highest statistics I've seen in all my years as a campaign manager. You boys are a shoo-in. We'll do it. We'll run for the President of the United States of America. I just remembered. Little Joey is your son.
Hello, kiddies. Old Uncle Neal is going to take you back to the mid-1970s right now when he was getting his start in the jingle biz. The recording date was for Bonanza Steakhouses. I didn't write that one, but I was singing the lead on it. And the guy who wrote it was a guy by the name of Ron Dante. And he was singing in the chorus, so I got to meet him. He was the guy behind Sugar Sugar. And they did an edited version one time called Sugar. Anyway, Ron was also the producer for Barry Manilow. So I said to Ron, hey, I got a whole bunch of great songs that would be just perfect for Barry. How about I come up and play them for you? And he said, sure, what the hell. So I made an appointment, went up to his townhouse in Manhattan, took out my old cassette, and played him a song I had just written called Coney Island Ride. This is a song about relationships, you know, like a roller coaster. It goes up and down and up and down. And I played it for him, and he thought it was pretty good. And then he takes out a reel of tape and puts it on his machine. This is a song, wasn't released yet. They just finished recording it, Barry Manilow did. And that song went something like, I've been up, down, trying to get the feeling again. Well, didn't take a genius to figure out that Barry wouldn't be doing 2 up-down songs in his career. So, well, that song was better than mine anyway. That was written by a guy named David Pomerantz, a multi-platinum singer-songwriter and performer. And anyway, many, many years later, David and I became friends. And not too long ago, he invited my wife and myself over to a private party for his father, who was turning 93. His father, Mel Pomerantz. And Mel, as it turns out, is an incredible artist and sculptor. And he's also had one of the dream jobs of any young man of my ilk. And here he is with his with his book about his dream job. God, I'm in the wrong profession. Anyway, there were a lot of performers at this party. David performed, and there was another guy, a sax player named Glenn Zatola. Glenn had played sax for people like Frank Sinatra and Perry Como. I don't know about Perry Como. Frank Sinatra, let's see, Ella Fitzgerald, all kinds of folks. But he was also the musical director for Suzanne Summers. This is when my ears perked up. You see, back in the 70s, I had written and sung on a jingle for Lipton Chicken Noodle Soup. And I had heard through the grapevine that Suzanne used to dress up as a chicken and perform this song in her Las Vegas act. Well, I had no way of knowing if this was true. There are no videotapes of her or anything like that. So for decades, I just wondered, was my dream a reality? And anyway, I went up to Glenn at the end of the night, and I asked him if this was indeed a fact. And he verified, indeed, Suzanne Summers dressed up as a chicken and sang the Lipton Chicken Noodle Soup commercial. One of my very own compositions, which I'd like to play for you right now. By the way, that makes Suzanne Summers the only celebrity to have ever performed one of my songs. And it goes something like this. How does it go? It's a long time ago. Let's see. When I want chicken noodle, Mom cooks Lipton chicken noodle. It's the only chicken noodle that'll do. Thanks, Mom, for chicken noodle. Thanks for Lipton chicken noodle. It's got lots of little noodles you can chew. Now I want you all to sing along and follow the bouncing chicken. When I want chicken noodle, Mom cooks Lipton chicken noodle. It's the only chicken noodle that'll do. Thanks, Mom, for chicken noodle. Thanks for Lipton chicken noodle. It's got lots of little noodles you can chew. Well, here's a very special thing I'd like to play for you right now. This is from a one-man show I did back in California in Hollywood at the Stellar Adler Theater in 2005. It was a one-man show called Pigeonholes, and this particular thing was recorded in glorious standard definition. It's a little number I like to call Bar Noir. See you after it's done.
was a night like any other. The crowd was thin and my tip jar was 3/4 empty. That is, unless you're one of those crazy optimists, then I guess you'd say the jar was 1/4 full. I was playing a soft, sultry blues when suddenly the smell of furniture polish filled the air. There was a dark, smoke-filled bar, and my head was spinning from the night before. But still I could discern a salacious silhouette slinking stealthily through the slime. She was tall, blonde, and had the chiseled features men have gone to war for. Her wicked smile stretched ear to ear. Her legs went clear up to her shoulders. Her breasts were like 2 large cassava melons. Man, she was ugly. But there was something about her that made me want to get to know her in every sense of the word. She came closer and put some money in my tip jar. I noticed there was a $100 bill. Not exactly chump change. I hadn't seen that kind of swag since before rap music became mainstream. I looked at the money, I looked at the broad. I couldn't help but think, is that $100 for one song, or is that for like a lot of songs? Because that's a lot of money for one song. She blew some smoke in my face and said, "What's your sign?" Not knowing much about astrology, but not wanting to seem unsociable, I said the first thing I could think of. Feces. This must have been the correct answer. She was still there. She moved closer and said, "Hey, big boy, I like the way you tinkle on those ivories." I'm sure she meant tickle those ivories, but it had been a long set and I had been drinking a lot of beer. I heard tinkle. She blew some more smoke my way and asked me if I was an adventurous sort of guy. I said, "I've been around the block, burned some candles at both ends, I know the score." I said, "Yeah." I saw a hint of doubt creep across that cat-like face of hers. I said, "Yeah, I know what adventurous is. The first guy to see this white round thing drop out of a chicken's ass cracked it open and saw this gooey slime dripping out of it and said, 'Yum, let's eat it.' That guy was adventurous." Her lips parted, and for the first time I noticed one of her front teeth were missing. I found it somehow alluring. She said, "So you're a philosopher? I like philosophers. Philosophize for me." I didn't know if she could see the sweat pouring down my soul. I was on the spot. So I reached deep down into that dark chasm I call my mind and pulled out some well-hidden thoughts I had been chewing on since Y2K ended life as we know it. I asked her if she wanted to know why the world was in such bad shape. She said, "Lay it on me." I said, "For the last few years, every time they would show something really dangerous on television, they would use the disclaimer, 'Don't try this at home.' Before that, all the idiots of the world would try it at home, and that successfully weeded out the population. And because of that disclaimer, we are currently being overrun with idiots." Think about it. There was a long and thoughtful pause. And then she said, "Shut up and play me a song. Play like you've never played before. Play good."
just eating this here protein bar, and you will not believe how much cholesterol is in this thing. Look at this. Cholesterol. Oh my God. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of Uncle Neal's Neighborhood. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. Anyway, if you'd like to support what I do, you can become a patron for as little as the price of a cup of coffee. A very large cup of coffee. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to sign up, subscribe, and push the little bell thingy there. And if you want to see any of my other videos, check them out. They're all on my channel here. And got a lot of merch. It all helps to keep this channel going. So thanks for watching. And lastly, just remember just one thing. If you're feeling a little bit low, why don't you go out and find somebody who needs a little help? Could be the best way to help yourself. Love you guys. See you next time.